Biggest cheapskates ever, woman dumpster dives for prenatal vitamins. This show will show us that people out here are living life on the bare minimum. These penny pinchers are basically living life for free at other people's expenses. Saving is always a good idea, but these people take everything to the extreme. So extreme that they risk putting their lives in danger just to save a few bucks. These people are even ready for death as long as the risk-reward is great. From a guy ready to do a clinical trial for Ebola for thousands of dollars to a pregnant woman who dumpster dives for expired prenatal vitamins. Here are the biggest cheapskates ever.
My friend Laura set me up with this blind date. I may be cheap, but I know how to be romantic, and I'm gonna make this a very special date here in my shop.
Number 5. The mechanic who lives in his garage. Larry is the cheapest mechanic in Texas. No pun intended. He even avoids paying rent by living and working in his garage. Please don't get me wrong. This man hasn't built a home close to his garage. Instead, he relies on clients' cars who've not been able to clear the bill or abandon cars. He goes ahead to share his rather unusual morning routine and living arrangements on camera. He has secluded an area where he takes a bath and collects the water in a basin. He also uses the boot of a car as his closet, and the front remains to be his room where he sleeps. Once Larry changes to his work clothes, one can hardly tell he lives such a cheap lifestyle. His intern is concerned about his behavior because he claims Larry forces him to wash cars with socks, and get this, the recycled basin water Larry collects after his bath. Larry insists this saves him a ton of money and can cut down costs for his clients who know him to be the cheapest mechanic in Texas. I mean, I guess after watching this, they'd know why they would probably never return their cars to this unhygienic man's garage. Aside from that, he refuses to use window wipers and sheen to give the windows a shine since they are expensive.
Bit on the pad.
Okay. I'm gonna let you do this.
You don't want to do this?
No, thank you, Larry.
Man.
No, thanks.
Come on.
That's all you.
And instead uses sanitary pads and cola from the dollar store to sheen the windows. His intern refuses to do this because it doesn't feel right, forgetting he uses his boss's recycled bathwater to wash cars. Larry's extreme saving habits didn't start from the word go. It was a result of previous divorce cases where he'd spend money on unnecessary things, including designer clothes, things he currently doesn't even care about. He hadn't crossed out the idea of dating again and was open for a blind date set up by one of his friends. As many would be ready to impress their date, Larry only cleared a section of the workstation and laid out homemade candles from cola tins, as well as reusable plastic plates and cups. When his date arrived, she was shocked they weren't leaving the garage, but instead having it there. The grill he was using to prepare the meal was more hilarious. He called it his little kitchen, but the date didn't seem too pleased. When he removed a tool to cut the food, she was even more stunned since he had no knives. At this point, she was ready to leave since she wasn't even sure if it was clean, but was forced to eat with it. Once she asked about how he lived and if he had a proper bed, Larry casually told her how there was no need to own a bed. I mean, dude, if the lady comes to sleep over, do you get 2 cars so she gets one to crawl up on? Larry had let his previous relationships ruin any possibility of finding something solid, and his extreme cheapness shows.
I own 3 pairs of pants. These black ones, these black ones, and these black ones. All you need. Why do you need more than...
Number 4. Meet Mama Melody. Sometimes we just need to be grateful when our caregivers aren't featured on this show, because Mama Melody's kids really went through it. The video shows the boys doing laundry with their father in buckets to save on costs. One of the boys plunges the clothes as a way of manually cleaning them when they're rinsed off. Their mother is a whole other level of cheapskate. Aside from owning the same 3 black pants and about 15 shirts for years, she shares how she only has 1 pair of shoes, which are Crocs, which she got a couple years back. The shoes are even oversized with a huge hole at the front, wondering how indeed these serve her. Back in the kitchen, it seems she's obsessed with jelly. Everything has to be turned into jelly. Aside from weird jalapeno jelly, Mountain Dew jelly, root beer jelly, she also makes corn cob jelly, which is a product of leftover cob. She insists it can be put to good use instead of throwing it away.
If I go to the liquor store and buy real wine, that'll be about $15 to $20 or more. So I save a lot with doing this.
Number 3. Homemade hooch and car engine eggs. Barry from Queens is one of the cheapest barbers you're bound to ever meet. His fiancée at the time, Gabriella, shows the cameras how cheap Barry really was, because even after proposing to her, he used an empty box without a ring. According to Barry, he got her the box as a way of showing he'd considered getting a ring. Seriously? As if this isn't already a red flag, Barry doesn't see the need for spending money on alcohol at the club, and prefers to make his own homemade hooch from lemons, some candy, and other stuff. Something that probably costs about $6. The fiancé has no other way out aside from adapting to his strange lifestyle. Mostly when Barry suggests they go out, he uses his hot engine to cook something for his girlfriend, especially eggs. According to him, there's no need letting the heat go to waste. The look on the girl's face tells it all. She's scared for her life and needs some serious help before she loses her mind with this lunatic she's about to get married to. Barry tells the cameras that he saves on gas and utilities by cooking on his engine, which is absurd considering he's willing to make hooch on the oven.
Mark is a big hustler. He goes around and always looking for things to do to try to save money.
Number 2, Mark works as a human guinea pig for money. Mark Parisi thinks everyone should try being a medical guinea pig for cash. That's how he supported himself for several years, and the money was good. In the episode, Mark explains how he frequently volunteers to be a clinical guinea pig to save on medical expenses, get free checkups, and earn thousands of dollars. By enrolling in medical trials and getting free checkups, Mark saves himself at least $700. Showing off his collection of hospital scrubs, he says, "When I was doing clinical trials, I would take a pair home. I would use them for daily work, exercise, and for doing other clinical trials." People assumed he was a doctor, including his neighbors who often spotted him wearing the scrubs. It became so regular for him to wear them that he went to the gym in them. According to Mark, scrubs saved on laundry since they were cheap to clean and were free.
Hi, I'm Mark. Would you mind if I throw in some laundry with you? Just a few things, not a lot, maybe a few things.
No.
The trials are something he always looks forward to, and according to him, they pay pretty well. One of his best paid gigs was a 2-week contract where he was paid $6,000. He tried to recruit his friend, but his friend feels like Mark is a bit on the extreme side. One upcoming study he was really anxious and really excited about involved donating one of his testicles, which is then replaced with an artificial one, in exchange for a check for $35,000. When asked what he wanted to do with the money, his dream car was all he had in mind. Mark explains how the trials and the perks that come with them, boasting he doesn't spend a penny of his full-time salary. This penny pincher proceeds to explain how he saves on spending. One of his tricks includes asking random people at laundromats to allow him to top their load with his clothes. Some turn him down, but when lucky, he gets to wash his clothes for free. Since he enjoys gambling, Mark tries to collect pennies and coins from all sorts of places, including public restrooms and the street. He uses these coins to play slots at his local casino, where he claims to enjoy free drinks on the house as well as increase his luck on multiplying the cash. He can flip a penny to about $10, which is a great win for him.
Angel and her husband are about to welcome their first child. And while costs for having a baby can exceed $20,000,
Number 1, she's pregnant and cheap. Extreme Cheapskates keeps freaking us out. On this particular episode, we meet Angel Durr, who was 8 months pregnant with her first child. Nevertheless, she was determined to get through this without having to pay for anything. This includes looking for medications and prenatal vitamins while she's dumpster diving. At 8 months pregnant. Since this exceptionally cheap young lady didn't want to pay for vitamins and medicines during her pregnancy, armed with a litter picker, she goes diving through dumpsters and garbage, shaking everything until she hears the rattle of a pill bottle. Then, whether it's expired or not, she takes them home and stocks her medicine cabinet. I research all medications before I take them, and I've been doing this a very long time. Don't try this at home, she said with a sly look to the camera. I think expiration dates in general are kinda, She even explains on camera that she does the dumpster diving during the day since no cops are patrolling, unlike at night, which she risks getting caught. Aside from that, they own a 3,400 square foot home that they cheaply furnished, and by cheap, we mean free furniture, since they were all collected at dumpsters. According to Angel, her family is used to the dumpster diving habit and claims she's 3 generations of this trend. Her mother is more concerned because she feels her daughter is taking it too far with the medicines and how cheap she chooses to be with everything.
No, that's not even safe. That's way too extreme for me.
Their baby's nursery is also furnished with about $5,000 of dumpster furnishings. Angel is proud to claim they saved up on so much since all they had to do was clean them up and disinfect the stuff. On to the crazy part. They were ready to paint the child's room, but weren't ready to spend any money on that. Instead of purchasing standard paint, Angel sweet talks her way into getting small container samples for free, as she puts it. The store owner lets her collect a couple with the hopes that she would return to make an official purchase, but she finds a way to paint the whole room using the samples. As crazy as that already sounded, the two were determined not to go out of their pocket to spend money on unnecessary things. They went to collect supplies to create a homemade breast pump, which was cringingly successful. The device was something out of a science experiment lab, a bicycle pump, pipes, and a funnel-like thing to act as a suction cup. The fact that her husband had to test it before use, and Angie even threatened him if it hurt, makes me question their sanity. This is bonkers. Sure, the furniture is cheap, but honestly, some vitamins will be okay to take after they expire. But old medicines can be dangerous and have unpredictable side effects. There's also a reason every vitamin and medicine you buy comes sealed with tamper-proof packaging. This is your health. You cannot risk this kind of behavior. What do you guys think about this woman? Would you ever dumpster dive for vitamins and medication?